Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take another look here at XRP, double checking a few things. If you could please comment below, let me know if the sound quality sounds better today. I'm trying out a new microphone, just making sure we're on the right track there, getting in the best quality analysis as possible. So with the support range, we can kind of see this area here held fairly strong, right? That 235 to 245 range. Excellent stuff. We're still honoring our ascending trend with the moving averages. Things are looking very decent here in the overall sense. We're going to quickly check the back-end liquidation data, kind of see what the baseline is here for any potential incentive to the upside. And as per usual, thank you so much for hitting that like button, commenting below again, deeply appreciate that. If you could do that every single video, it really helps grow the channel. I thank you so much. So liquidation, can't really see too much here in the last 7 days. We're kind of in the middle of a range. The macro tells us a slightly different story, a little easier to see here. If we zoom in, we can recognize 260, 265 is that upper area. And of course, we got a pretty big chunk at 235 here locally. So some pretty heavy longs at 235. So it really just kind of implies that we're in the middle of a range, but we break out to the upside, we should see a run towards 260, 265 before the price action pulls back. Okay, so a good chance we will see that. We can see liquidation delta has shifted bearish, so keep this in mind. You generally don't want to go against the grain here, but it doesn't mean you necessarily want to short either, because what that tells us here is that we're reaching an impasse. And typically when the price starts to compress and squeeze in like Bollinger Bands, if you're familiar with those, the price will more likely than not explode in either direction. And it would make sense for us to go up than down versus the other way around, because of the simple fact that we're essentially establishing higher lows, okay? And that's an important factor. We'll look at that on the charts. Open interest does tell us that 248 to 253 are two heavy areas of open interest there. Once more, I'd like to see 260 or higher before I consider a long. That's just me personally. I'm more of a conservative trader when it comes to confirmation. I don't like to try to take breakouts. Okay. And not to say we even have a breakout situation here, but if you took a long right now, I think hypothetically the risk is inherently higher and it doesn't make as much sense. But let's actually confirm that first, because that's just pure speculation based on what we've looked at so far. Let's confirm the daily time frame. This is something that's different from yesterday. In other words, we've confirmed an actual closure above this 243 support. In other words, we got that 20-day SMA, the 50-day SMA below the price action. We're above our local points of control there for the most part, the open interest. While we do have some resistance above us, we're above this level on the RSI, kind of letting us know that we have officially broken, for the most part, bullish here. Now, this is not like a clean break by any stretch, but it is definitely a positive start. Okay, so the daily time frame is actually looking tremendously better. It was looking good yesterday, but we have a little more confirmation now, understanding that we're holding this range well. Keep in mind, Bitcoin is slightly pulling back, and I do want/expect Bitcoin to come to the $86,000 range. If that happens, it's going to be awesome, good to go for a lot of altcoins. Honestly, it's pretty good to go right now too when you think about it. A lot of them are breaking out, but we didn't get that full-on bullish backtest of the descending trend line or the local highs, which is what I like to look for. Here with this coin, we can see that kind of happening though. See, previous highs here turned into new lows. The likelihood of further upside is higher because of that. Okay. Other than that, the 4-hour time frame looks, I would say, decent. It's not phenomenal by any stretch. There's no hidden bullish convergence. Somebody's telling you that. I think they're outright stretching it because you can look for things you want to see in the charts often if you're biased. I always look at the charts unbiasedly and just kind of tell you how things are. And right now there's nothing like super significant here, but they're mostly positive. Okay. In other words, still very good. I think the likelihood of further upside makes more sense, but once more, this isn't like a super clean situation. Hourly time frame is telling us here as well that we are in a position right now where we're within the cloud, kind of slightly above, lagging spans not free and clear. This is a bit of a mess. You don't really want to try to trade this kind of scenario here, at least on smaller time frames, until you get full-on confirmation. And I don't think we're going to have that confirmation until Bitcoin actually finds its bottom. So what we want to do is pay attention to how XRP performs contrary to Bitcoin and see if it becomes an outlier. And if so, that's when we want to consider a long position. Right now, it seems to be following suit fairly consistent, minus this previous pump here, which we all know what happened there. Okay? So again, that's kind of where we're at. I like it. I think this is definitely a good situation, but I'm not fully convinced that we're, breaking completely bullish, but the macro being on track is a very good sign. Okay, that's a very good start. So that's kind of where we're at there. I'd recommend dollar cost averaging into your position if you're going to consider one, and make sure you secure profits when you can. But once more, we see that upward liquidation level get swept. we're going to be on target to see some pretty good gains. Either way, thanks so much again for joining me here. Make sure you check out Bitunix too, folks. I get the question a lot. Deposit reward bonuses, significant rewards every month, and they provide that to all of our community members who use my link to register. Also, join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you want to be in the know with all my playout charts and anything else that's technically important for you to know. It's all there for you. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.